Alright, what's up guys? This is going to be part one of kind of a build slash restoration series for our 1962 Oldsmobile F85 Cutlass. So, I don't know why I didn't think to start this sooner, videotaping I mean, but better late than never I guess. Alright, so we bought this car probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 months ago. Alright, so what's under this tarp right here is actually very important to the whole build. It is a 1993 LT1 out of a Camaro. And believe it or not, it is what was in that car when we bought it. Non-running, non-driving, but it was in that car with a 700 R4. So the previous owner bought this car with the LT1 from somebody about 10 years ago, I want to say. And he was running and driving then, but while he was driving it down the road for the very first time, he broke one of the steering arms on it. Rusted right in half, just broke. And he never got around to fixing it. So it sat for about 10 years on a trailer. Insert us buying it. We went and looked at it, and we decided, you know what? This is a good price for a solid car. And so we went ahead and brought it home. That was back sometime this summer, and we've done some stuff to it since then. When we got it, you know, it was a complete car. It should have been running and driving, you know. It would have, you know, if that steering arm hadn't broken, and if the engine ran, it would have been, you know, everything for a running driving car. So we started looking at it some, and decided we wanted to go a slightly different route with it. So we were watching a Jay Leno video on a 1962 Jetfire, the first turboed car, and at the very end of the video, Jay Leno goes, "The owner of this car could have driven this from Indiana. It drives that smooth." And so Dad was like, "Well, that's interesting." So he started, you know, jumping on the book of faces, and he found the guy who owned that car, and he reached out and was like, "Hey, we have a F85 Cutlass that we aren't sure where we want to go with it. Here's how it's currently set up. Do you have any suggestions and any resources for where we could find parts?" That guy messaged back, and we ended up with a date to go meet him to pick up a parts car with a 215. So unfortunately, we were having truck issues, and the first attempt at going to get the car, we broke down halfway there. So the second time we went to get it, I actually was on duty, and I wasn't able to go. But Joe and Dad went, and they got this 1961 F85 Cutlass with a 215 Buick, or Oldsmobile, sorry, Oldsmobile, and the whole front end. The previous owner of that car had put in a Mustang steering rack, and it was pretty messed up, and we wanted the stock steering back in it to keep it simple. Alright, so here's the motor, and I've already started to take it apart some. It is a 1961 Oldsmobile 215 aluminum block V8, and it should be running. It is not seized. It turns over. So after we do a full rebuild on it, it should run. I got the whole rebuild kit here. Got off eBay, all the seals and whatnot. So we will be disassembling this completely and rebuilding it. And then from there, we got a Edelbrock, or a 4-barrel, excuse me, an Edelbrock brand, I guess, 4-barrel carburetor conversion. Because here is the carburetor that it had. So we decided we're going to go ahead and at least do this as a performance upgrade. We might end up putting a mild camshaft in it as well. We haven't quite decided what we want to do, but we definitely will be going to a 4-barrel carburetor setup and using this nice intake as well. So that is something on the cold days that I've started working on a little bit, and will continue working on, is rebuilding this motor. So that brings us to this car. We are going to go back to a full stock per se vehicle with the original 215 concept, and we're going to repaint it. And we haven't decided yet. We might modify the engine a little bit. We might do air ride suspension. We're probably going to convert the brakes, and I'm not real sure. There'll be other stuff as well. But let me kind of show you what we've done to the car now, and some of the things specifically that we're thinking about doing. So we wanted to keep the 700R4 transmission in the car just because it's a reliable, easy to fix transmission. And so we needed a conversion, or converter I should say, to get from the 215 to the 700R4. After lots of searching, I finally landed on a place called aluminumv8.com. And I did a little bit of digging, and I found their parts catalog, and I gave them a call, and my new friend Mark answered the phone, and he explained to me everything I would need to make that conversion. So in this box is the adapter, flywheel, starter maybe, I don't even remember. Everything we need though to take the 215 and connect it to the 700R4. So now let's take a look at the actual car. I removed the front end that it had when we bought it, and I removed the front end out of the parts car, and so those are sitting there nice and ready to be dealt with. And then I've removed all of the wiring for the most part that was in the actual engine bay, and just kind of clean that up. We've removed all the accessories, trying to make it ready to be painted, and we're going to do all new wiring. You know, basically everything will be redone within the engine bay. Inside the car, we have removed both sets of seats. Now, we removed the front seat a while back, thinking that we might leave the front seat in. And as you can tell, we had to, the previous people cut out the housing for the transmission there. So we got to fix that. Obviously, this has to go. A whole bunch of rust. We got to fix that. Passenger side isn't as bad. We will have to see, you know, how far we want to take it over there. As far as the dash goes, we need to remove that so we can rewire underneath there and clean everything up. The doors aren't too bad, you know, we got window seals and whatnot that need fixed. All the, you know, the trim pieces are a little oxidized and might need some fixing, touching up. We'll just have to see what we can do for that stuff. But then the headliner is completely trashed, so that'll need fixed. And then today I removed the back seat. Now, when we first opened up the trunk, we were met by a pleasant surprise of at least a 3 or 4 foot long snake skin. And I mean, it was a big old snake skin. Fortunately, it was just a garter snake, so there was nothing really to worry about. But in the middle of summer, when you open up the trunk that you don't know what's in there and there's a massive snake skin, it was a little terrifying. Now here's the actual seat cushion that you sit on. And when I first pulled it out, I was a little nervous to stick my hand under there. And for good reason. There was a massive mouse nest. Fortunately, nothing in there. It's been cold enough that nobody's living there. But then I started to find another snake skin. So when I found this snake skin stretched all the way along the back seat, I was a little terrified, but we should be good. I don't think we're gonna have to deal with anything else, at least alive. There might be some more snake skins up in the top, hopefully not. And the original one was actually in the latch for this, so hopefully there's nothing in that those crevices there. While we're back here looking at the trunk, we might as well take a look. We got some rust all along, so it'll definitely need some fixing there. Our friend with the parts car did provide all the lettering and the tail lights. That was huge. We weren't sure we were going to be able to find those, so we now have the tail lights and the lettering. We need to clean up the bumper some. I can't remember. I think the parts car. It does indeed. The parts car has a much nicer bumper, so we should be able to use that. This is the engine hood from the parts car. I love the patina, but we will be using the hood that came with the car. Again, we do have the lettering for it. We will have to do a little bit of fabricating for the corners here. They have seen better days, But otherwise, most of the body itself is actually pretty solid, other than those floor pans. We shouldn't have to do much fabricating for anything else. We do have the front grille. Thanks again to our friend with the parts car. And the car will need painted. We've bounced around with a few different ideas of what color, but we do know it's going to need it. All of this stuff is indeed actually wear to the paint. You can tell there, a little bit of fading. You have some rust there. Along the trim parts also have some rust. So it will need painted. But I do love this color, but I think we might be going with more of a burgundy color. But we will see. All right, so that's going to do it for today. I think today actually I'm going to work a little bit more on removing the rear carpet. We were thinking about keeping that in because it was pretty clean. But after pulling out that back seat and seeing what was hiding under it, I'm definitely going to pull the carpet. Make sure the floors are nice and solid, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching, though. This is definitely going to be a multi-part series as we rebuild the motor and you know, kind of restore this car back to what it used to be, and probably modify it some in the long run. We will see what we end up doing to it. But prom is about 4 months away now, 5 months away. So I do have a little bit of a crunch time limit, or yeah, time limit on how long I have until this car needs to be done. So yeah, it'll be a good project for sure. So thanks for tuning in, and be sure to watch for part 2.